So hello guys, आज हमारे साथ है जय गुप्ता and Jay, as we know, is an FC Goa. By the way, I'm a Mumbai City FC fan, but FC Goa I come to see the games regularly. So he's an FC Goa left back player, and he started for the national team as well in June. So first of all, hello Jay, great to have
Hi,
you on the
hi.
podcast.
Thank you. Great to be
And
here.
as we were talking, you said that you currently had an ankle injury. So how's the recovery going?
It's going great. Yeah, I had a knock in the Qatar game that we recently, played, and just about at the end there in the 83rd minute had a little bit of a knock. So yeah, just about strengthening it again. So rehabilitation is in progress. Should be completely fit in about a week.
Allowed to play those turf games, right? So is it possible that someone in Pune can randomly see you at a turf game or something?
I mean, since I've joined professional football, I've actually refrained from playing turf games because there's a lot of injury scares. But I mean, sometimes you feel like you want to play with your old friends again. But I think for a professional footballer, you just have to try to stay away as much as possible. But yeah, the deja vu will always want me to go back.
So, this is a very random question I wanted to ask a footballer, and you're probably one of the biggest footballers I have had on my podcast yet. तो मुझे पूछना था, do you have like clauses in your contract in which you're not allowed to go to adventure sports or anything like that?
Not really. It's more about just keeping yourself safe. I mean, you wouldn't think that a professional club would put clauses in your contract and not specifically go to adventure sports. But I mean, you would know when you don't need to go somewhere, especially if you have a important game coming up. I mean, every game is important. So, I mean, doing these things in preseason sounds like fun, but obviously in the season you got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, 8 months you have to be terribly for like
Yeah.
you have to avoid a lot of things. Well, one thing I wanted to talk to you about was what is your opinion on the Euros? Are you finding them great?
Oh yeah. So I mean, as much as I get to watch, I'm normally watching the 9:30 games. The 12:30 games become a little too late. But yeah, yesterday itself, I saw Ronaldo getting another chance at a penalty to get through to the next round. So for sure, the Euros is one of the things that the thing is, I have a good connection in it because I was there when Portugal won the Euros in Portugal, and
Oh,
the atmosphere was amazing. So yeah, just hoping for a repeat.
so did you see Portugal actually win the whole thing there and everything?
Yes, yes. So so
Wow.
that exactly. I was there when it was happening, and it was great.
Yeah, so actually that was a segue I wanted to talk to you about. You first played in Pune City FC's academy, right? And then
Yes.
you transitioned to Portugal and then maybe a football school in Spain. So could you highlight more about that journey of yours?
So I mean, when I was 15 years old, after my 10th grade, I was playing in the FC Pune City under 15 team as the captain, and the CEO then of the ISL club was starting up a affiliated program with a Portuguese club, and they thought it was the right fit to present at least a few kids the opportunity to go and. They thought I was a good fit for it. So they asked me if it was viable, at least, and obviously my parents as well. So you went there for a month to try it out, and it seemed like a great opportunity. And I was blessed that my parents could afford it. Uh, so we kept going year after year. As I was progressing, we were feeling like yes, we could put more into it. Eventually, when I finished 6, 7 years there, I had enough games in my bank and experience to know that it's time to try something different. It's always been a lot of players' dreams to play in Spain. So before coming back to India, I wanted to get that dream done to see where I can reach. So I just went to Spain for a year before coming back to the ISL.
And beautiful. I mean, are the stereotypes about Spanish and Portuguese players too, about how Portuguese players play with flair, with a lot of ball control, and how Spanish players they do short passing? they well dribble with little quick feet. So are those stereotypes, are they like ingrained from their childhood? Did you see that while you were there?
Yes, I definitely saw that. So I'm surprised that a lot of people know these stereotypes actually, because I saw them in play. Like, when I was moving from Portugal to Spain, I thought I'd not see as much difference in the gameplay, but the difference that I saw was like pretty pretty much a lot, because in Portugal, just like you said, the players were playing with more flair. They wanted to show more of what they've got, and in Spain, it was all about tiki taka. They're just
Mhm.
trying to get the ball from one side to the other to the final third to be able to get that goal. So yeah, for sure, the stereotypes are true.
Damn, I mean, living those experiences firsthand and seeing those cultures, that must be beautiful. But I think I checked your transfer mark site, and I noticed that you played in Estoril Praia. I mean, I don't know why is that name so famous. I've heard that name many times. Is it because Rui Costa was the president, or are more Indians playing there? What do you think?
No, I mean they did qualify for the Europa League once in 1990s or something. So that's where they got famous. But yeah, a lot of big players have played there. So that is the tie-up that FC Punisiri had. They had a tie-up with Shuril Praya's international program. That's how I went there eventually. So yeah, Shuril was a great club. They play against big teams like Benfica and Porto, who compete in the Champions League, and they've beat them quite a few times in front of me as well, because I used to go to all their matches, and I've seen them win against Benfica, Porto. I saw them play Manchester United once,
Wow.
so it was good. It was a great experience.
So, did you find Goa to be similar to Portugal, the architecture and the other things? Because I went to Goa and I saw some photos which are like from Portugal, to काफी similarities दिख रहे थे because of the colonization and all of that.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, the yeah, obviously from all the history that is there, the Goan heritage has been so secure in Goa. The Portuguese heritage has been so secure in Goa that I could actually feel that I'm coming from Portugal to India, but I can still find Goa. I can still find Portugal in Goa. And
Hmm.
all the lanes marked and numbered in the same way as Portugal. It was a great thing to see that the heritages are still kept intact.
Yeah, I mean, the connection must be, it's historic kind of, and it has been really great. So my next question would be that when you moved from Story Prior to FC Goa, so did they have a somewhat connection because of many people in Goa who are connected? Because I think Goa maybe logo ko passport, they're getting passport if they can prove their heritage to Portugal. So do
Yeah,
they have
right.
a connection?
No, not really. Because the thing is, I moved to FC Goa from Spain, not from Portugal. But
Oh.
but to answer your question, there are a lot of Portuguese heritage people in Goa, especially a lot of players like Rainier Fernandez, who is my teammate at FC Goa. He also has a Portuguese heritage. So a lot of players actually could have the opportunity to go abroad and get a Portuguese passport, and play in Europe because of this very exciting option that they have. So I think Goan players, especially with all the quality they have, you can literally see them playing the Portuguese way in Goa. Goan players from the get go, when they're young, they're playing amazing football, and I've seen that living in Goa for a year now. I can't hear you.
Hello, you hear me
Yeah, now
now?
I can hear you. Yeah, again I can't hear you. Still can't. Hello.
So
Yeah, but let's go.
yeah, so Jay, as you were talking about the matches that you played with Dempo, how was your experience?
Oh, honestly, the Dempo players had so much quality. Not it seemed like not there wasn't a big difference between the ISL club and Dempo FC. Obviously, with them being one of the richest clubs in Goa, we that I think that's one of the reasons why Coach Malono chose them for our training matches, because They gave so much competitiveness for us to be able to get up for the season. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was an amazing preseason setup for us.
Do you think that building heritage is one of the better ways for teams or for India to excel? Because I feel that heritage clubs, so basically just building clubs and then this history, just riding on this history will set up such good standards for clubs that they need to perform well. And then I think the Indian football scene can flourish. What are your opinions?
Yeah, I completely agree because, as you can see, just because of the heritage FC Goa has, Goan football has, FC Goa is always expected to rise in the ISL competition. They are never expected by anybody to do anything better than getting into the playoffs or getting the winning spot. So obviously, heritage plays a big role. Just like we saw last season, all the trophies were won by Kolkata clubs because the heritage there is massive. So, and another thing that I can point out about is that in Portugal, even if you go to a very small town, football is like passion. It's like a religion. So that's the whole idea from where nurturing young talent comes from, and from that's exactly from where we go to becoming a footballing nation.
Yeah, it's almost as if that is how they represent their cities and by being the ultras and fans of their clubs. And that is exactly why I built this channel to understand many people's experiences around the world of how football is in those parts. And I think you have been a great example. But another question I wanted to ask is I've never been to Kolkata nor have I been to Kerala. I've just been to Fatorda and it's beautiful. So first of all, could you describe the pressure or the support given to you in Fatorda and which stadiums are the most intimidating in all of India?
Okay. I mean, I'll start off with Fatorda because I had so much support this year, right from scoring the goal in Odisha against Odisha, I think it was definitely a combined effort, right from when we're in difficult positions, playing at home, we always feel like we're going to get that goal, that winning goal, because we have 1,000 other voices, 10,000 other voices behind us telling us, yes, we can do it. So the atmosphere at Fatorda is always electrifying. And I think the most intimidating for me, I mean, you would think it's Kerala because they come in with so many numbers going up to 40,000. But I think the most would be the Mohun Bagan Stadium, the East Bengal Mohun Bagan Stadium, Salt Lake for sure, because the crowd there definitely makes you realize that they are there, they are there
Yeah.
to back their team. So definitely them.
Have there been any instances where you could actually hear the fans like cussing at you or shouting at you or anything? Does that happen very commonly? And can you make out what the fans are saying as an instance?
So I mean, I have a very funny anecdote here about my family coming to watch the Mohun Bagan game in Salt Lake, and my father is obviously a fanatic, and he goes crazy when he's watching matches, supporting me. So there's a funny story where he we had scored a goal, and he was celebrating the goal, and around that time I heard a bunch of I looked over at him and I saw a bunch of Mohun Bagan fans, fighting with him, not fighting physically, but just a verbal fights going on, and I could make out what they're saying because it was in a bunch, but it was funny and good thing to watch. My father fighting against Mohun Bagan fans, but a good story.
And it must be very chaotic since you have to be 100% involved in the game, and yet something like this is happening in the stands. I mean, it's like a
Yeah.
dilemma whether you should get angry or you should play or focus. So, but tough होगा. लेकिन yeah, one thing I have to say is I have never watched the Indian team, and I feel that fans are something else with the national team, man. Like really, great kudos to you guys for whatever you have achieved, and hope you keep on achieving more. ये थोड़ा emotional हो गया बीच में. Lekin I think the fans are the best when there's the national team involved. So yeah,
Definitely.
you just remember that you guys have our support no matter what.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
Lekin
much.
next I had to come to when you returned to FC Goa from Portugal. How was that? Like whom from Goa welcomed you? Which players do you train with? and spend your time with, etc., etc.? Could you highlight more?
So when I came to FC Goa from Spain, initially I only because I've never been in the Indian setup professionally. I initially only knew the coach, Coach Manolo, who I had a contact with in Spain. So I came in and I was just trying to get to know everybody. Eventually, I had already met. I found that I had already met Rainier, who was in Odisha before.
Hmm.
So, obviously there was a connection there, and me and Rainier got together pretty well. So normally, after that, me, Rainier, and Arshdeep actually we started hanging out a lot. We stay in pretty close quarters. So yeah.
Also, I think I've seen your partnership with Noah, and man, Noah is such a brilliant player. Noah मुझे बहुत पसंद है. Noah and Brandon too. I'm so happy Brandon is coming to Mumbai City FC. Being a Mumbai City FC fan, like we haven't stolen any players from FC Goa in a long time. But Brandon is a really great player to steal, man.
True, true. Yeah, normally they used to call me, Rainy Arshdeep, and Noah kind of a group because we also did a Kingfisher ad because normally we're always uh, fooling around in training, all four of us together. So yeah, that was a good group mix up. Kind of broken now with Noah leaving, but yeah, we'll stick with what we have.
Noah's leaving. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Totally, totally. Yeah, he's such a great dribbler. But coming to your national team now, because FC Goa, I think it's been one full season since you've played. Am I right?
Yes.
So national team is a pretty recent thing for you. So what was your reaction like when you got to listen to the news कि यार you've been selected for the national team camp?
Your voice cut. Can you say that again? Your voice cut
Yeah,
there
so
in
I
the.
just wanted to ask you what your reaction must have been like when you actually got the news that you've been selected for the Blue Tigers.
Oh, I got to know from my manager actually that I'm finally going to get the call up, but it was the moment that we have been waiting for, my family and I since for a long, long time. So it was short to say very, very emotional, and we felt like we finally made it.
So did you like have an idea somewhat कि यार ये कभी तो हो सकता है? Like had you thought of that before?
Yeah, so we were having a great ISL season, so talks were always in the air. Everybody was saying, "Tera time aayega," it's gonna happen now. It's gonna happen now. But I was, I was always telling them, yeah, we know you always get what you deserve. So at the end of the day, whenever it comes, it's gonna come with some at the right time, and I felt like it did.
Yeah. So no, to not to have like a very typical segment, like in 2 to 3 things I'd like to ask you about the dressing room is who is the most mischievous or naughty player in the dressing room?
Uh, Very easy answer again. Most mischievous will definitely have to be Rainier. He's always trying to be the funniest guy in the group, and he is actually. So, yeah, he's always making people laugh. And if there is a serious situation in the dressing room, especially after a loss, that's one guy you go to.
Yeah, I think Rainier sir and Chetri sir, I think before was the most mischievous is what I've heard from players. And who selects the music? Who has the best music on select करता है?
Oh, so funny you should ask that. I'm the DJ of the group in FC Goa. At least last year, I'm the one who just I don't move around without a speaker in my hand. So I'm the one who used to get people going in music in FC Goa. I have pretty funny anecdote about that. There was this one time when I had a small injury, and people didn't expect me to be there before a training match that was happening, and everybody was looking pretty serious. So I just picked up my speaker, and I just got into the dressing room and started some African beats, and everybody just no, they just they're they just got excited, and I was like, okay, good, this is a good thing. And then we
Hmm.
went on and we played a really good game. So it was a funny thing to happen.
The
Yeah.
one thing I've noticed is Afro beats and hip hop music in general are very good in dressing rooms because most players play them because I think it gets your mind off of the nervousness. Am I right?
Right. It just gets you in a positive zone basically, you know. That's what we need before a game. I mean, if you see what all the international players also play before listen to before matches, it's all hip hop and upbeat music. So yeah.
So, are there players who don't prefer music before the game? Is that the case in some?
I mean, normally in the dressing room before a game, we always have music on. The We are not allowed to take our electronics, but obviously the coach has that option. So the coach puts on music for everybody, no matter who likes it or not, because as a group, we definitely need the motivation, you know. So anybody who doesn't need it tries to meditate by themselves, but normally everybody likes to vibe together to the music, you know, before the game.
Okay, okay. Now, moving to the segment where I'd like to ask you for the future players who are looking to, try to move up the ranks in the Indian footballing ecosystem from the age of, let's say, 12, 13. What is your advice to them?
Being in the Indian system, I think slowly we are getting such strong grassroots academies and programs that I think slowly it's going to become a lot better for young kids to not have to leave their country to get good footballing education. And I would just like to tell them that there is hope in Indian football. So just keep going at it, because if kids like them can prove that they can make it with uh, not a strong not a strong infrastructure right now, we definitely can make it big with a strong infrastructure in the future. And the groundwork for it is being laid definitely. So just keep dreaming, keep achieving, so that we can get better and better.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point you said about infrastructure, ki it's not enough and it will not be enough for a long time, but I am seeing improvement, that is for sure. मुझे काफी
Exactly,
दिख
that's
रहा
the
है
whole point.
कि प्रमोट हो
when
रहा है
when
फुटबॉल.
when young kids like us can reach the top without enough infrastructure, definitely that's the whole point of us showing that we can do it. So if we are if people at high spots see that we can do it with less infrastructure, they will definitely help us with more.
Did going to Portugal and Spain tell you, like, teach you some things which in India you might not have learned? Is there something in the players there, aspiring players there, which they do differently?
Not not in the sense of mindset, more in the sense of what they what availability they have. It's just about them having the luxury to be able to go to training sessions on good pitches, on on a set training session mindset, on set exercises that will actually help you improve. And everybody has one mindset in them. uh, so normally, so I can give you an example here, where in Portugal, from the age of 9, coaches work on kids individually and try to make them excel in whatever they are good at. So, so in India, obviously, owing to the population, you'd see not too much individualism in how coaches train the kids. But in Portugal, obviously, you have to get the population factor into play. But obviously, the coaches have so much more time to give to the kids that they can focus on each one of them and make them better in what they are at.
And are the diets also paid attention to since a very young age, or is it like pretty normal till they're 15, 16?
I mean, so I normally always used to agree with the fact that European diet is very clean, because the people there eat very clean food on a daily basis. That's one of the reasons why I think I switched to being a non-vegetarian. My family by birth is vegetarian, but when I went to Europe, I needed to change that, and I think as soon as I did, I felt a big difference because I was eating very clean, and I was feeling more energetic every single time. So a lot of these factors obviously play a role in how you develop the kids, because if the kids are eating right and training right, that's a big plus. And that, I think, in India now we have surpassed the diet part, because everybody takes care of the diet now, but obviously with more more excellements in the training part, with a lot of good grassroots development programs. I think we're gonna reach better heights.
Mm-hmm. And so do you think like protein is the key? Because I've read many or at least seen many studies where people say that the one place where India is lacking constantly is protein.
I mean, okay, so if you think about it logically, a lot of the Indians are vegetarians, and obviously, in order to get enough protein, being on a vegetarian diet, you need to focus more on the protein portion of your meal than your carb portion. Obviously, it comes from our religions that we choose to be vegetarians, but somebody who wants to excel in sports needs to understand there has to be a balance between your protein intake and your carb intake. So it's all about choices. I have been a vegetarian, I have been a pescatarian, I have been a vegan, and I have been a non-vegetarian. And I have to say, being vegan has uh, different uh, different advantages altogether. The energy levels reach peak heights, but obviously you need to eat a lot of protein to be able to get there. I always favor being vegan over anything else, but you have to choose your strengths at different ages of life. I feel as you get older, you should slowly cut out non-vegetarian food and start eating leaner vegan food. But that's you have to go with how your body takes the food, and how you feel.
Currently, you're not vegan, though, right?
No, currently I'm not vegan, because when I was vegan, that was 3 4 years ago. I saw a lot of energy rises, but a lot of muscle loss. Uh, so in order to, because for my position as well, I need to be a little more muscular than lean. I need more muscle than speed right now. So I switched to being non-vegetarian, but I always try to keep a balance, trying to stay off any uh, red meats and just stick to more or less being a pescatarian, or just having chicken.
Speaking of being a pescatarian, this is totally off topic, but have you had fish in Goa?
Oh, I recently in a FC Goa Q&A answered what my favorite Goan food was, and that was chonak. If you've
Fish,
heard of
right? Oh my
chonak,
God, it's
yeah, I
too
love
good.
chonak rava fry. It's one of my best. It's one of my favorite, uh, cheat meals in Goa. Whenever I'm in the mood for a weekend cheat meal, I go to chonak rava fry. It's one of the best.
I
Me
think
and
you
Rainy
should
are
try
normally out
Sharda
here.
Classic. I mean, if you want, I can suggest you many restaurants. Sharda Classic is one. Fisherman's Wharf,
Mhm.
I've heard, is another good one. So you can try
Yes.
Chonak. There's also something called Morso. I think Morso is shark, and it's really
Yeah, more so.
spicy
So
Morso.
we tried morso once, and it was different for me. It was the first time I was eating it. We normally eat chonak in Ritz Classic, not Sharda Classic.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is a Sharda Classic near to where we stay, so I'll definitely try that out.
Yeah,
Definitely.
even Ritz is brilliant. But you
Yeah.
spoke about your position. So as a left back, what are the basics a player needs to develop to be a wing back? Because I also play mostly as a full back only, either right back or left back. So what
Uh-huh.
are the basics a player needs to take care of?
I think playing as a left back. So I mean, I recently started playing left back. I'm normally a center back by nature, but it was not too difficult for me to adapt to left back, especially because of Manolo, because he in preseason he really taught me everything I need to know to be able to transition to being a left back. But I think more or less it's more about how you can progress the ball forward. A left back needs to know how to get out of pressure zones and how to cover. More or less, in an attacking sense, a left back needs to know how to get out of a pressure zone. But defensively, a left back's role is very important and crucial because uh, mostly in the ISL as well, ISL teams they like to attack from the wings, and for a
Yeah.
left back to be able to firstly stop the cross and secondly stop the second man run when the ball is on the other side is the most crucial thing to do, especially I think in the ISL because a lot of goals are scored from second line runs.
And what do you think? India, they don't use that many half spaces, right? You know, in Europe, they say they always go through the half space and then they cut back. That is not so common in AFC or ISL, is it?
Yeah, right. That's true because I feel like in the ISL, I mean, this again comes from how Indian players from the get-go have been taught. What we in training in India probably do is we reach the final third wings, and we are taught by nature to cross the ball and not dribble inside. And this is I think where I bring a difference to the left back positions. Whenever normally I'm in the corners, I do not just try to cross the ball and try to find a head. I try to progress the ball a little more forward so then I can find a cutback so that I can increase the probability of finding one of our men and not one of theirs. So that's one difference that I think I found from a left back, wing backs in India and Europe.
Oh. And I think another aspect of your gameplay is you are pretty good in the air. So do you practice anything specifically for the same?
I think that comes from me being a natural center back in Europe. We worked a lot. Center backs were worked a lot on their aerial game, and I've scored a lot of goals as a center back in Portugal. Going up in corners and just going for that. And I think that is one of the strong points that left backs can use because they help them being able to help out in offensive and defensive corners becomes a very important thing because then you have a left back that can do aerial games and ground duels, which becomes basically a complete all round wing back.
Hmm. So have you
Yes.
ever played in a wing back position with three at the back or anything? Is there any
Uh,
difference you found?
with Manolo, I haven't. But obviously, the last match that I played in Qatar with India, I played as a wing back
Oh,
with
yeah,
three
yeah,
at the
yeah.
back, and it turned out pretty well for me. I had a couple of opportunities where I was actually 1v1 with the goalkeeper, and obviously one of them ended in me getting injured on my ankle. But yeah, the wing back position really helped me understand what more I can give, and just understand uh, what more I can provide to the team. But obviously, it all at the end of the day depends on what the coach wants you to play.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I think the wing back position gives you a bit of a more chance to show your individuality. Matlab, not saying this is better or that is better, but I think that is one thing which that position provides. Am I right?
right. I mean, any player. I mean, from when you're born, you don't know what position you are capable for, right?
Mhm.
And coaches who want to explore their players' advantages obviously would put them in positions where they can progress more and see what they can give you. And obviously, because of what the season I've had in the ISL, scoring a couple of goals. Uh, I think the ex-Indian national team coach saw that I was capable of a more attacking role, and that is why he played me there. And I think it went pretty well for me because I found out a lot of things that I could uh, could learn.
Are you open to like playing other positions as well? For obviously, it's how what depends on what the coach tells you to. But is there any position like would you like to revisit a center back position again? Would you like to play a bit forward? Is there something which you'd like to try in the future, 2, 3 years down the line?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, funny thing, my family keeps telling me to keep progressing forward, and finally, they're in a funny way. hoping that one day I'd become a winger or a striker because they want to see me score more goals. But I think for me, it's more about where I'm enjoying. I definitely enjoy a lot in the center back position as well. And I think for me, it's more about where I fit in into the team and where I can provide them the best of me. And if that is in a center back position or a winger position, for me, it's about if I am helping the team, I am enjoying. So if I'm helping the team in wing back, I will definitely enjoy that more. If next season I'm playing as a center back, I will definitely enjoy that more.
So if it clicks well together, then it matters. Uh,
Yep.
so as we were talking about the positions we play in as players, is there any player who is like your inspiration currently, whom you look at and try to model your gameplay after?
Like in the current FC Goa team or just
Anywhere in
anywhere in the
world
world?
football. So like any back in the
So
world whom you would
since
like to play like.
I've been in Portugal for almost. So I am very fond of Ruben Dias from City, who was earlier playing in Portugal, and I've watched a lot of his games live. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah, I can hear you. Can
cutting
you hear
out.
me?
Hello.
Wait a second. I'll just. As we were talking about positions, you said that Ruben Diaz has been a really big inspiration for you.
Yeah, so when I was basically training in Portugal for all those years, I looked at Ruben Dias's game live in a lot of games, and he became a role model in the sense of how consistent he is with his performances, and alongside him, I think now it makes a lot more sense that I like Joao Cancelo's game a lot as well, being one of the standard left backs and one of the best ones in the world. And I always thought his game was something that I admired, and now looking back at my season, I understand why I looked up to him so much.
I think those are really good inspirations to have, especially fitting your style because you have the physical frame like Diaz, and somewhat you play in the position of Cancelo with his ball control. Cancelo is different gravy. Yesterday we saw him against which team was it? I forgot. Wait, Portugal played against
Against Slovakia,
Slovenia, yeah. So,
Slovenia,
I
sorry, yeah.
mean, that guy was balling yesterday. I mean, if you just look at his touches, they
Yeah,
were so uh, delicate, I think is the word.
yeah,
Really
yeah,
good players to model yourself after. But are there any players
definitely.
whom you like started watching football because of, like Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldinho, who used to be the best player during your time when you started?
Uh, so when I started playing, obviously it was Ronaldo was in the scene. We had Di Maria that we looked up to a lot. Di Maria and the Robin, the Iron Robin
Yeah,
phase. Used to look at a lot of Bayern Munich matches, and normally at that time Cristiano was buzzing in the Premier League. So we used to love watching United games, but in the bigger picture, I used to watch a lot of Barca because I used to be
yeah.
fond of the tiki taka, which is where the dream to play in Spain one day came from. So yeah,
Yeah, Barca was something else. I mean, Barca, actually, I support Barca as a foreign team. Which team do you support, by the way? I didn't ask you that.
Barcelona,
Yeah,
Barcelona.
great to meet another one. So,
Yes.
I'm guessing the dream stadium for you to be playing in must be Camp Nou.
Camp Nou. Camp Nou, yes.
Yeah, I'm just
I have visited the stadium quite a few times because I was playing in Spain. I was playing in a club 2 hours away from Barcelona, and whenever I used to get time, I used to go and watch matches in the Camp Nou.
so who you watched Barca matches? Which team did you see?
I watched Barca playing Getafe, and it was one of the last matches in the in La Liga, and but the atmosphere was electrifying, and obviously it was so lucky because we won 3-1, and it was the farewell game for Busquets. So I got to watch a farewell as well, and it
Oh,
was just great. It was
damn, you
just
watched
great.
the Busquets farewell game. That must be
Yeah,
emotional.
it was great. It was so emotional. We had live performances from some famous artists as well, and it all went down
Arey, yeah.
very well.
So it must be really good for you to see Cancelo, right? Sadly, the loan deal is over now, but Naito, trying to look at the player who inspires you to play in your position in your favorite team must be an honor.
Yeah, the thing is, when I started playing left back in Goa, I not just watched Cancelo, I tried to analyze his game so much, going back to all the games that he's played in Portugal, and I just used to keep obsessing over watching every single minute, and just seeing what he keeps doing. And I think that helps anybody a lot. Back to how where you asked the question of what young footballers should do, I think a lot of them should also concentrate on watching game videos and understanding what players do at high levels so that they can start practicing it now.
And it's those little things, right? That little touch which takes them a slightly faster than the right winger, and those small track, anything, just small details. I think you can pick up from their
E-
games. So,
exactly, little details make the difference for sure.
hmm. So, do you like have a celebration or anything of your sort which you've invented or would you'd like to do?
Oh, not yet. So till now, I think I've had all my celebrations either with the whole group or more or less centered to my loved ones. In the Odisha goal, the first goal I ran to the coach because he's the one who gave me the opportunity to you know get where I am. And the second one, my parents were attending, and I showed a heart to my mother. So. But there is no trademark celebration yet, so let's just say it's in the works.
Yeah, if you have some anecdote and कुछ by chance बन जाता है, then have a trademark celebration. India needs a bit more
Yes,
flashiness, I feel. अपने में थोड़ा और
yes.
flashiness आ गया ना, then that would be really fun to see.
Yeah, that's the whole part of marketing and getting it out there and at the end of the day having fun.
Yeah, it's about having fun. So I think
Yeah.
those were the questions from my side. Anything you would like to tell the budding players or any message you would like to share? Because it was really fun talking to you, man. Like I feel that it wasn't just me asking questions and you giving one-liners. It was actually an interactive great podcast where I could actually get to know what a player thinks. So that was really
Mm-hmm.
fun on my part. That's what I would like to tell you in the end. But any message to the budding players?
I mean, firstly, thank you for the podcast, man. It was great talking to you. I mean, I think all I'd like to say is that I think we're in a great place in Indian football right now, where we have the opportunity to provide the young kids the platform and the infrastructure and help that they deserve. So, and me as a professional footballer at this moment can say that I will do everything to make sure that this only progresses. And I think now is the time when dreams can come true. So just keep dreaming.
I guess, yeah, just keep dreaming and working hard. So, anyways, Jay, I'd like to thank you again for taking time out of your recovery currently and being a part of this podcast. It was really fun to talk to you and gain your
You too, man.
perspectives. So, I guess I'll talk to you later then. See you.
Thank you so much, man. Great, great.
Bye.